Hi, happy Friday. Thank you for joining our live Twitter event. I'm honored to be here today with Athletico's CEO and founder. My name is Jen Simasi. I'm the Vice President of Talent Acquisition for Athletico. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit more about Athletico, who we are, and our differentiator in the market, as well as hear from Mark directly on his advice and perspective about the upcoming CSM conference. So Mark, welcome. Thanks for being here. First off, I would like to ask if you could tell the viewers, there may be some people out there that don't know, are not as familiar with Athletico. Could you just explain to the audience who we are and what we're about?
Sure. Athletico is a physical therapy company. We offer basically physical therapy and occupational therapy and athletic training. We have approximately 500 centers in 12 states now. We started in 1991, and that's basically our story.
And we are growing. Just recently we entered our 12th state, so that's exciting, and growth is incredibly important for Athletico. Could you talk to us a little bit more about Athletico's growth strategy?
Well, we have a number of ways we can grow, and we've done it over the years. Athletico started as basically an organically grown company. We started with one site in 1991 in downtown Chicago. Over the next 23, 25 years, we grew to approximately 100 centers, and we started to branch out into a few local nearby states to Illinois, including Iowa, Wisconsin, Indiana. And we hadn't done an acquisition until 2014 when we acquired our friendly competitor here in Chicago, Accelerated, which had facilities in 7 states outside of our base market here in Illinois. And since then we've grown, continue to grow organically, but also we've done some acquisitions, approximately 4 or 5 acquisitions since then.
Great, thank you. So what is, I think it's really important for the audience to understand your role and the stability that you've brought to Athletico. Can you talk to us a little bit in terms about not only your experience, but the importance and your vision with the organization?
I've not thought about it as stability. It's been my job for the last 27, going on 28 years now. Started as a physical therapist and wanted to open a facility in downtown Chicago and do some athletic training outreach, and had no idea that we would ever open a second center, let alone we're growing towards 500 in the states we're in now. So it seems some ways crazy, but we've been at it 27 straight years, so you'd expect some growth. But my role's changed a lot over the years. I went from treating all the time, every day, all day as a physical therapist and working as an athletic trainer to starting to back that off so it allow more time for the business and support the team, to ultimately in 2014 I stopped treating patients. And in 2004 I stopped treating patients and have focused strictly on the business since then.
Got it. So the Athletico was founded on the care of people and the care of patients. I think what Athletico has grown into is the care of people. Can you talk a little bit about how you take care of our people and Athletico employees?
Well, they're the fuel, the engine that drives our customer service and all that we're about. We have to take care of our team, and it's, teamwork being one of our 4 core values, with patient service, accountability, continuous improvement, and teamwork. I love the fact one of the greatest gifts I've ever been given is the team that I get to work with every day. And so if I can't keep the appropriate amount of focus on them, supporting them, providing better direction and leadership, things I'm working on for 2019, it's what myself and I know our leadership team to support our clinicians, frontline clinicians in the field, our athletic trainers in the field. We have to do that well, and we need to do it, and we want to do it. And so we talk about it a lot, how we can better do it, connect the resource center where we're at today to all of our field sites. It's becoming more challenging, you could say, but there's always opportunities to improve that communication, that clarity, the leadership, the support. So we allow our physical therapists to do their best work every day.
And you talk about one of the core values is continuous improvement, and to therapists, it's important that they're always continuing and evolving in terms of education. Can you talk about Athletico's continuing education programs?
Yeah, what used to be purely external, where myself included, we take external courses, go to various sites around the country or here in Chicagoland. We're lucky to have so many of the courses coming through. We've now evolved that to where we offered 1,000 internal continuing education hours last year to our clinicians. We have a number of programs they can that supports, number of service lines, over 50 in the entirety, and we've worked on that every year with Travis and Annie, who support that program, and it includes not only the internal courses, but each of our clinicians has the opportunity to take external coursework too. If there's specialties, specific courses that we do not offer internally, they have the opportunity to do that through their CEU budget. But the variety, the access, the ease of use, a lot of them are offered here at the Resource Center, so it's convenient, at least for the Illinois folks. We look at all aspects of continuing ed and how we can better support our therapists' balance, their day-to-day work, and of course their educational growth.
Got it. And we all know what's really important, and one of the bigger things in the industry is the upcoming CSM, where I know you will be, as well as a number of Athletico employees. So can you talk to us in terms of CSM? You've been a former attendee of the conference. What is your favorite part of the conference?
My favorite part of the conference is interacting with our team. We're going to have approximately 45 folks there this year from Athletico, but to meet the students, the entry-level students at our booth, I think booth 525, and at the CSM meeting in DC, and just the questions they have, the energy they have. I sometimes forget I've been in the field for 30 years when I'm talking to them, but it's easy to remind yourself of what it was like, your first job, taking your first job, not understanding exactly which direction you may want to go. And we can offer them a lot of support. We can answer their questions. Ultimately, the decision will be theirs on where they want to take it and where they want to work. But we certainly want to represent Athletico to the fullest capability we can.
Got it. So as a reminder for the viewers, we will be at booth 525. Mark will actually be there on Thursdays, so we do welcome you to stop by the booth, take a picture with Mark.
Hopefully Friday too.
Yeah. And make sure to meet some of the other Athletico representatives that will be there. Mark, you talk about booth 525, again, where we'll be, but there, from what I understand from the exhibit hall, it can be incredibly overwhelming. So can you give any advice to the viewers on how to best navigate a CSM?
Well, I can only offer how I look at it. You're going to run into so many folks you want to talk to. And so you need to circle the things you want to hit, and that could be a booth at the CSM exhibit hall, that could be identifying products, service lines, things you want to explore. Certainly you want to look at the meeting agenda and all the meetings that are supporting all the 18 sections that are part of the APTA. So the CSM meeting supports the entire APTA organization. At Athletico, we have particularly orthopedics as part of our service line, and we touch many others, but the CSM encompasses all of physical therapy and supports the entire industry and profession. So it's a great opportunity for new students to take a look at that and see what's out there. But I would grab the agenda, highlight the meetings you want to attend, look in the exhibit hall and the exhibit list and highlight those, and allow more time than you think to get through that. I would also properly hydrate and nutrition yourself, supporting yourself with good nutrition, because those can be some long days, and I anticipate having some long days, but they're fun. You want to have the energy from the minute you get up till the minute you go to bed, and it's a great opportunity to connect, reconnect, and it puts a smile on my face because I enjoy every time when I get to go to CSM.
Got it. Another recommendation would be to follow the hashtag. We will be tweeting during the event, as well as you can follow APTA CSM for additional information if there are events or sessions that you're unable to attend. In terms of networking, you mentioned that I think the event is expected to have over 12,000 attendees this year. Again, another could be overwhelming. Do you have any networking advice for attendees this year, Mark?
Yeah, and I think last year in New Orleans there were 17,000. I think 12,000 registered for this year. They may beat it for DC, which obviously on one coast compared to New Orleans, but a really attractive place to go. Networking and relationship building, you're going to meet people there and anticipate meeting people there that you're going to carry on through the rest of your career. So I would be prepared with the business cards. I'd be prepared with your contact information. I would, again, circle the groups and either educators or personnel you want to connect with. I'd also reach out to your alumni association for the schools you attended. I'm going to be at the Northwestern one for where I went to physical therapy school on Wednesday night in New PT, and connecting with faculty that are still part of the program, connecting with former alumni and graduates of the program. You start building that network, that professional network, and you'll find yourself leveraging that for the rest of your career. So I would pay close attention to the opportunities that will be available at CSM.
Got it. In terms of, that is one way to focus on your own, invest in yourself, is attending CSM. There are other things that Athletico is doing and is committed to our therapists to help further their career and their development. Can you talk to us a little bit about the Emerging Leaders Program?
Sure. The Emerging Leaders Program came as a kind of an add-on to our mentorship program. The mentorship program, of course, is what we take our team through when they join Athletico. So that could be 3 to 6 months of onboarding, taking somebody from a new clinician to where they're, obviously in the role, and to where the directions they may want to take their career, service lines they want to work in, not just being an orthopedic physical therapist, but they may have interest in some of our other product line, service line, skill sets that we offer. But the Emerging Leaders Program in particular developed for the folks that want to raise their hand and lead something, lead a program, lead a service line, lead an educational segment, lead a facility managers or a region. And there's probably, we could all recognize skill sets that we don't naturally get in physical therapy school or in our undergraduate education, that we as professionals know how to treat a patient, know how to execute, working with that interface between the therapist and the patient, but leading a group and managing difficult conversations and handling conflict and all the things that come up in the day-to-day life of a manager or someone leading at a higher level. So the Emerging Leaders Program is 6 segments that they go through, and usually during a 1-year program. I think we have 90 plus signed up for that this year, about the same last year. It develops a great bench strength to fuel our growth that we plan to achieve over the coming years. And you get to, you see the cohorts, the smaller groups interacting together and how they work together. It develops connections amongst the company over a broader scale over all of our 12 states. They come together at certain periods during the year. It's led right now by 2 men, Justin Novinger and Paul Haddon, both physical therapists within the company, but it involves several men and women around the organization that help support it, including those that have taken it in the past few years.
So another example of how Athletico is committed to our employees. In terms of the mentorship, I think that's really important because you're not in this alone. And I think it's important, especially for new students, to have someone to help them navigate a new organization and a new chapter of their life. Can you talk to me about anything specifically with Athletico's mentorship or a mentor experience that you had that you felt was successful? It's
kind of the used to be conversations I used to have, and what I thought was right, that we had a 90-day, I think it was, orientation onboarding program. And we saw certain individuals that got it up and going, got very comfortable in a shorter period of time, and some that take longer. And that could be based on the number of types of services, if they want to do something other than orthopedics, women's health, vestibular, things like that. Any number of reasons, but it started to make sense. Why are we putting this time frame on it? It may take 3 months, may take 6 months, may take 6 weeks. So let's assign the mentor that's well suited for the new employee at Athletico. And that could be based on schedule, professional experience, what have you, or their backgrounds that they're heading. And we connect those people, and it's an important relationship with daily, weekly check-ins. Going through, the specific parameters that we expect and we have listed as part of the mentorship program, but there's certainly going to be things that come up within any mentee-mentor relationship where hey, I feel I'm not completely comfortable with this aspect of the job or whatever. And so they can focus on that. They can leverage other outside resources outside of that relationship, and we want to do everything we can to properly onboard our new team members.
And we've actually heard feedback that does make the first few days, the first few months a little bit easier because we know the job itself is hard, so it takes away some of the pressure of the other things that kind of the unknown. So those are things that, again, how Athletico is investing in our employees. We've talked a little bit how we take care of our patients. Can you talk to us, Mark, a little bit, and the viewers out there, on how you have your interest in furthering or advancing the overall industry, why you think that's important, and what your role has been in that?
You know, I think all credit goes to our team there because selfishly, I think through the early years, a lot of the years of Athletico, I was so focused on the core business of Athletico and how we were doing things within our own ecosystem. I didn't do enough stepping outside of our comfort zone there, and the team has just done a remarkable job interacting in the community and interacting with the professional community, with the state associations, and on the national level, and that's presenting at courses. I think we have 45 attendees. I think the first time I went to a CSM, I want to say it was Indianapolis, but I think we had 4 people that went, and so spreading that out and getting more people involved in the industry and the profession is important at all levels, at the community level, state level, national level, maybe international level. And we've had people, particularly in our performing arts group, touch the international level, but where we are represented as a company, I think is important. It helps the profession. It helps our patient care. It certainly helps us as individuals and professionals grow. And so we have to apply the appropriate amount of effort and energy and focus and tension around those things because, as an example I shared at the beginning, I think 100% of my time and energy was focused on not screwing up Athletico. I just wanted to get that right, and if the patient experience is right, the employee's experience right. But at some point you understand that you're going to learn a lot from interacting with colleagues at these types of meetings like at CSM, and there's so many opportunities to take that pearl, that nugget, that little piece back to your day-to-day work that you're missing a little, you're missing a lot by not attending these types of meetings.
And I think that's really important to understand that the value of Athletico goes beyond the patients, beyond the people, but that we are making a bigger impact in the world. I think that's a core differentiator of Athletico. Can you talk to us about other differentiators and what makes us unique from other outpatient physical therapy organizations?
Well, I'm biased. I think there's a lot of reasons Athletico is a special company. And it starts with our team, the leadership team, you can argue, but I would say it starts with our clinicians and the interface. The most important interface we have is between the clinician and the patient, and if we get that right, we'll be in good form. But so we pay a lot of attention to that. The programs, offerings, I've always had the goal that we wanted to meet everyone's goals when they came into our company. That's a little bit audacious to do that, but if we can't, the last thing I would want to hear is that somebody left our organization because they couldn't meet their goals. So that's why the programs, the good people that started the different programs and service lines, the expanded growth we've had. We've had so many people over the years step up and raise their hands, say, I want to open a center in this community, or I want to move back home out of state, and would you consider supporting me opening a center in another state? So there's been so many examples of our team and how they fueled that growth, and that's really what I think differentiates us. We can talk about our 50 service lines and our different program offerings. We can talk about the continuing education programs and that offered 1,000 hours of continuing education service. You can talk about our growth from 0 to 500 sites and yada, yada, yada. But it's really our people that make a difference, and I know there's a lot of good people, good physical therapists, good companies out there. I think we're as good as anybody in most things and better in a lot of things, but I think our ambition, our goal around getting better at everything we do is one of the things that separates us.
And I think it does go back to not only the how, or it's not just the way we treat our patients, but it's the how. It's that service delivery and the relationships that our clinicians have with the patients. So you've talked a lot about, throughout this whole conversation, there's been a lot of reasons why someone should want to come and work at Athletico. But is there anything else that you would want to share on why somebody should work here?
I think they'll be given the opportunity to excel and exceed their expectations and how they want to grow as a therapist. I don't know. Well, I do know our turnover attrition rates is very low, but I look around and meet so many folks, and when I'm going out to the centers in the last 2 weeks, I've been to I think 20 of our sites, and that's been intentional because it's what I love to do and I love seeing people. But the one question I don't ask anymore is how long you've been with us, because I always screw it up because I underestimate. I'll say, hey, Jen's been with us 8 years, and they say, no, it's been 12, and then I'm like, so you don't feel good about that. But we have so many long-term people from the leadership throughout the company that have helped this company grow. I'm very proud of that. As I said, I love getting out in the field and interacting with the team. I look at a lot of things when I get out into the facilities, from the cleanliness of the facility, the physical environment, the first impression, and most of all, probably the energy of the facility and what's going on with the patient care. We have 98% plus patient satisfaction with our patients reporting after their course of care with Athletico. And I'd like to think we're still working on that last 2% of how we can improve that, because we're not perfect. There's always room for improvement, and again, that's the approach we take. But it's a great opportunity for me to get out to the centers. I look forward to doing that more in 2019. Be careful, I'll be coming near you. And it's fun to walk in the sites and see what's going on, because it really reaffirms what we're about and what we're trying to do.
And I think this is an important example of how the CEO is so connected to every detail of the business, and that the little stuff matters. So when you talk about the cleanliness of a clinic, all that goes back to, I would say, clinician engagement as well as overall patient well-being. So thanks, Mark. I do have one final question as we head into the end of our time together. I do want to thank the viewers. I also want to thank the team behind the scenes. Thank you so much. Obviously, thank you so much, Mark, for your time. But the upcoming CSM, as a reminder, we will be at booth 525. It is in Washington, D.C. For those that are looking to get out of town, or get out and enjoy the town, do you have any advice or any recommendations on what they should see or do?
Well, D.C., I've been to a half a dozen times, and I've not been there. One of my bucket list items is I'm going to be there for a week or two and just enjoy everything, and I've not done that. And I got to talk my family into wanting to do that with me, because I'm not sure they're there. But I think we'd all be remiss not to look at D.C. and circle a couple of the highlights, be it the monuments, the museums, the historical sites, and whatever gets your energy up. I would circle one or two things and hit them. It'd be a mistake not to do that in a city like D.C. that has so much to offer. We'll be there from January 26th to 29th. That's 4 days. Hashtag Athletico CSM on Twitter, and stay connected with us and what we're doing there. We're growing, now from one state here in Illinois, scenic, sunny Illinois, to the 12 states we're in, and we're going to look to grow across the country. So we need great people to add to our team. We look forward to meeting you in D.C. when we're there, booth 525, and feel free to connect with myself or any of our team members.
So again, you can follow us at hashtag Athletico CSM. We will be there on the 23rd. Mark will be there on Thursday and Friday at the booth as a reminder. Thank you all for spending a few minutes this Friday. Have a great weekend, and follow us on social media.